Coach Stephen Francis gives his assessment of Tina and Tia Clayton's progress, or lack thereof, at MVP. Plus, Oblique Seville, what's he up to? Gabby Thomas and Daryll Neita. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. We drop a video at least once a day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button. And finally, leave your thoughts. When you're ready? Yep, good to go. Once more into another multi-storied video. First up, Oblique Seville. We are wondering what's happening with Oblique Seville. Now, in terms of junior track athletes, the fastest Jamaican out there. I said junior. I'm not referencing the legends Usain and Johan Blake. Learned my lesson. So this young man, Oblique Seville, really came on our radar at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, where we started to state, based on our observations, that he was going to be a factor. Some people said no, some people said yes. We turned out to be right. We said last year, after his performance at World Championships, that he's going to be in the top 3 this year. We believe that this young man is quite capable of running some insanely fast times, meaning we believe he will lower his PB from that 9.86 this year to a very spiffy 9.80. That's our prediction. We think he's a factor. Here is in training, running a 150 and looks really good. Great form. Looks good. We think much greater things are about to happen for Oblique Seville for this year in the 2023 season. Just remember, we're telling you, we're predicting at least a 9.80, if not something below that, from Oblique Seville. He will be winning this year. Next up, Daryll Neita, who recently informed us on a question and answer session on her Instagram that she's of Jamaican heritage. We really didn't know that. Well, Daryll Neita has been added to the upcoming Carl's Rule 2023 indoor meet in the women's 60-meter dash. Britain's other athlete, Asha Phillips, also has been added to this lineup. Now, this lineup will feature Mujinga Kambunja, of course, who is the indoor world 60-meter champion from last year, 2022, as well as Iwa Sauboda and her cousin, the great one herself, Dina Asha Smith, to name a few. The international indoor meeting at Karlsruhe in Germany takes place on January the 27th, 2023, and is the first of the World Indoor Tour Gold for the 2023 season. Now, Daryll Neita last year set her indoor best in women's 60-meter dash at the Mueller Grand Prix in England, battling Jamaica's very own Elaine Thompson-Herah. Her PB, of course, is 7.11 seconds. She ran second to Elaine Thompson-Herah's 7.08 in that instance. And as I stated, Asha Phillips, Iwa Sauboda, as well as our cousin, the remarkable Dina Asha Smith, and one of our channel favorites here, Mujinga Kambunja of Switzerland, will also be there. Gabby Thomas recently put out this on her Instagram.
Hey guys, sleep is super important, so I'm going to show you how I like to wind down before bed. Lucky for me, I usually don't have a hard time falling asleep, but here are a few things that I've added to my bedtime routine to make sure that I get a good night's rest. I used to think that working out later in the evening was a good way to tire me out, but exercising too close to bed can actually make it harder to fall asleep. I like to make a nice warm cup of tea. Tonight I made chamomile. And then I turn the temperature down or turn a fan on so it's not too hot in my room. You actually fall asleep when your body temperature drops, so I like to make sure that it's nice and cool in my room at night. And then I do a little journaling just to get all the lingering thoughts out and to clear my mind. And then I make sure to turn off my phone so I'm not up all night scrolling forever. That blue light can really keep you up at night. So on that note, I'll leave you guys here. But if you're somebody who struggles with sleep, be sure to visit my friends at seizethenightanday.com for more tips on healthy sleep habits. Good night.
Seriously, people, I struggle with sleeping sometimes in the night, so I'm going to try some of these, except for the journaling. Not big on the journaling thing, but great tips nonetheless from Gabby Thomas. Now, this obviously is a reason why I think most of you clicked on this video. Anything to do with the Turbo Twins, Tina and Tia Clayton, formerly of Edwin Allen in Clarendon, who are now professionals, pro athletes at the MVP Track Club, which of course the primary coach of is Stephen Francis, the genius, especially with women. Many of you have been wondering, how are the girls doing? How are they progressing? Now, recently we put out a video on Tia Clayton's first race for the season. We said she struggled, which she really did, but go watch a video. So recently, over a few seconds, Stephen Francis expressed his opinions on the progress of Tina and Tia Clayton since they got to MVP. And I know most of you want to hear this, so let me just shut up and let you listen to the video.
The best to do what they think you are. We're going to accumulate data on them, and eventually we will come to a firm conclusion as to what to expect in May, June, whatever. But at the moment, there is no expectation really, except to say that they are making this good problem.
Now, I know that was really, really short, and you notice he said, at the moment, there's no expectations, really. But look at his face. Look at his face and look at his body language, seriously speaking. Anyone who knows anything about Stephen Francis knows that Stephen Francis keeps everything very, very close to his chest, you know. If you play card games, you must have heard the term poker face. He has the best poker face in the game. You never quite know what he's thinking, but let me tell you this. If he wasn't pleased, we would know. If he wasn't pleased, we would know. We've seen him do this with Sharika Jackson. We've seen him do this back in the day with Elaine Thompson-Herah, Fraser Price, way back in the day. The impression I'm getting based on this video, and I know he's not saying this, and I'm not saying he's saying this, but the impression I'm purely personal, is that I think he's very pleased with what he's seeing from Tina and Tia Clayton. I think he is more than pleased with what he's seeing from Tina and Tia Clayton, but he's going to hold this close to his chest. And he's giving the correct answers. He's giving the answers, the diplomatic answers. They're doing okay. He's not complaining about them. He's basically saying they're doing all right, they're adjusting, they're doing okay. But I'm telling you, look at his face, look at his body language. The little I know of this gentleman, this great man, is he keeps it close to his chest. And I think we should expect really big things from Tina and Tia Clayton for this season. I genuinely believe that, just based on that interview. Now, I only took a small part out of it, for obvious reasons, but I took out what I thought was most important. I think MVP and Stephen Francis are happy with what they're seeing from the Clayton twins. And even the way that the twins have been talking about, well, Tia certainly, in recent interviews, she's talked about how it's hard and they're being pushed beyond their limits. People, just consider these girls being trained as pro by the best in the game in terms of female sprinters, Stephen Francis and his crew, and they're being pushed beyond their limits. Can you imagine the time that these girls are going to come up with? Can you imagine Tia Clayton fully healthy, Tina Clayton fully healthy, growing and growing and growing? Now, some of you are talking about they look big and whatever. It's the beginning of the season, people. They are pros now. They're not schoolgirls anymore. So they have until March, April to get down to where they need to get down to. I think they're going to do very well based on that interview. But of course, this is just my 2 cents. I want to know your thoughts. Do you think I'm right? Did you get that vibe from the interview, or do you think I'm seeing what I want to see? Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up!